What's going on, everybody? This is Afro Think Tank. Today, I want to make a quick video to give you guys a little bit of economic information and some phrases you're probably going to start hearing in the future when it comes to Africa. And one of those phrases is going to be called economic South, global economic South. And that is the way economists are going to be referring to Africa in a tactful way when it comes to economics, right? The economic South, the global economic South. And see, what's happening is, you see, the reason why, if you notice, the West is having a big issue with immigration, and that's usually just That's just usually the politicians talking in the culture wars. But both Democrats and Republicans in every Western country understands that despite the rhetoric that's being spewed out for political talking points and to win positions of power within the respective governments, despite what they're telling the people, together collectively they understand that immigration is the only way to continue to keep the capitalistic machine working. Because the fact is, Europeans are not having enough babies in these areas to make up for the working force that's necessary to keep the machine running, right? So oh, immigration is this, build the wall, blah, blah, blah. The Democrats and Republicans have absolutely no intentions on building anything. They need people from the South to come in. We need people from Asia and from Africa and from various different parts to fly to Central America and make their way up through them borders. First of all, it's practically impossible to create a wall that's going to go across the southern border. It's impossible. I don't know if anybody ever took a look at that place, but there's vast deserts and vast mountain ranges. There's no way, right? Plus, most economic immigration happens, people fly over here. People don't just, a lot of people do walk, and that's what's highlighted because it's easy to create, political, social, and economic talking points by talking about a border. That's just the mascot of the issue that they put in front of you. But most people fly over here and they just overstay their visa. That's what people do. And the reason why they attempted for such a long time to make the African population smaller, because economists knew for years that, people who study these things, geopolitics and global doings and comings, they knew that Africa would become the center of the population. In about 50 years, 1 in every 4 human beings on this planet is going to be African. It's going to be black. And they're not even counting all the diaspora. They're just talking about the continent itself. If you add the rest of us, we're literally population-wise about to take over their entire world. That's why you see European nations starting to change their tune on Africa, because they no longer going to have the power. It doesn't matter how many millionaires and billionaires, white millionaires and billionaires or jubiloos that's out there with money. Population rules. It's population that runs economic systems. All right, that's the thing. And right now, Asia and Africa has the population. And Africa has a population, and it's ever growing. We are the only people on the planet that's actually growing, meaning African countries now know with their own economists, because keep in mind, all these economists has been going to these Western schools for decades now, right? So all the information that we used to lack, we now have, right? And as we wake up and become aware of our situation, African countries are recognizing that they now have the power. They realize, hold up, we have the power. If you listen to the Kenyan president, he's like, hey, every time they would summon the African presidents to some European summit that says Africa, Asia, Africa, India, Africa, this, they always, especially in Europe, they treat the African presidents as if, it's their school children, busing them all on the same bus. It's globally embarrassing. And now, if you hear the Kenyan president speak and various other presidents, the AU has decided, hey, we're no longer doing that, because we understand we have the leverage and we hold power. Therefore, the next time we have a summit, guess what? If you don't pick me up in armored freaking limousine and show me the respective head of state, then it's just not going to happen. Matter of fact, y'all come to us. As a matter of fact, heads of states are not going to go. They're going to send dignitaries in replace of them, the same way Europeans do when they send their little second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth in command to go speak to these heads of state in various other countries. It's very disrespectful, right? So Africans are starting to take their respect back, because they know they have the leverage. They have the population. Like I said, doesn't matter how rich your country is. Everybody has their time. America does not care about Mexicans coming across the border. They do not care. President Trump and Biden both are maintaining the same policies when it comes to immigration. That's what they're doing, because they know, despite what they say, they need people coming in. Because like I said, white people are not having babies. China, they're having an economic issue. Everybody needs to go to Africa because they're going to need workers. That means there's going to be more foreign workers going, more African workers going to various countries, filling in the gap with their population. More Africans are going to be spread out amongst the world to do the jobs that their native populations don't have because they don't have the people, right? That means if you're going to be sending a bunch of Africans to these various places, you have to start doing some relations. You have to start fixing your xenophobia. You're going to have to start fixing your population racism. Most countries around the world who seem to be naturally racist against black people is because they have homogenous populations who's not used to seeing us, right? So they believe the white Western stereotype about us because that's the white people's fault, right? That's what they did. So now the people who know, the people in government know that they're going to need to turn that around because whether they like it or not, black people are about to be distributed amongst the world just to do the work. We're doing it in Asia. We're doing it in Africa. We're doing it in Europe. Everywhere you look, you see African people doing the jobs that their population is too old to do. And baby boomers about to hit a critical mass. That's why healthcare is so important. Because guess what? Who's going to take care of all these old people? That means healthcares need to start booming. That means governments need to start figuring out what are we going to do. What are you going to do? Just let them die on the wayside? That's not going to happen. Somebody has to take care of all these old people who are no longer in working age. And who's that going to be? It's probably going to be Africans. All right? So the global South is a new tactical phrase to say, hey, them Africans. All right? So peep that. Global South. You guys really need to start paying attention to what's happening in the world. That's real situational awareness, right? Not just what's happening in your local town, your city, and not even in just your country, because this is a global world. And international things have consequences, domestically, right? And America, sorry to say, America as we know it, has peaked and now is going down. That's just what's happening. It's not something I'm wishing for. It's just something that's happening. All right? Power moves around. Power shifts. Power is shifting. The dynamics are changing. I know a lot of black people never thought it was ever going to happen because you never had enough knowledge to understand what was actually going on. You never knew. Most black people, with the knowledge that we did have, everything was doom and gloom. Right? Now that we're coming to the information, you understand, hey, the door is open for us. There's windows of opportunity. So for you African people who are in the middle class or you in upper middle class or whatever, and you have the opportunity to move about the world and do things, this is your opportunity while things are still soft and pliable, while things are still within your financial and economic reach to go make something major happen for your future. You can do it now by coming to Africa and building something, okay? If you don't have enough money on your own, I bet you there's 4 or 5 people, if you put your money together, you can come and do something. You understand? And that's what I'm trying to encourage you guys to do, is come over here and do something. But it's hard to find any serious people. That's also why I run my channel the way I do, because I'm pretty sure in my comment section, there's a few serious people that got at least $10,000, $20,000 and the motivation and know how to use a little elbow grease and a little critical thinking to come out here and make something happen. Okay, and those are the people I'm looking for, and those are the people, and that's the environment I'm trying to create within my comment section. That people who are talking to each other in the comment section or whatever ecosystem I create in the future can get together and be like, hey, you know what? I'm willing to do something. Is anybody else? Yeah, me. Hey, let's meet up in DC. Let's go have brunch. Let's go talk. Let's vet the people and see if anybody's serious. Let's vet the people and see anybody. Make sure nobody's criminals and make sure nobody's dubious, make sure nobody's a Yahoo boy, make sure nobody's one of those scammers. Let's see if we can find any decent individuals who want to go and take advantage of this very soft, pliable economic system that we have globally, that we're able to take advantage of as middle class, upper class, enthusiastic and knowledgeable woke Africans on this planet. Okay, that's all I got to say. It's Afro Think Tank. Learn something, teach them. I'm out.